You heard it right. This video is going to be about the least common chess move. Plenty of videos about the most common chess move, which is probably e4 or knight f3. But this is about the least common. Least common move, I tried to look it up, tried to find it on YouTube, tried to find it on Google, couldn't find it anywhere, could only find stuff about chess notation or something like that. What is the least common move? It's not castling queenside. It's not an en passant checkmate. It's not bishop to a1 checkmate, which would be a discovered checkmate, which would be very uncommon. It's not king h1 checkmate, which would be less common, but still, it's not that either. And it's not something even more absurd, like a discovered checkmate with knight b to a1. It's none of those things. No. The real hardest checkmate is bishop from e5 takes c3 checkmate. What that is, it requires 3 dark squared bishops, one on e1, one on a5, and one on e5. It requires black or white, if it's black doing the checkmate, to have a piece on c3. And it requires them to have a king one of these places or along one of these files over here. Almost more difficult to get a checkmate from. After that, you need to take care of all these flight squares. All these things stacked up together are just so uncommon, you're not going to see it happen. As a matter of fact, in 1900, could barely beat a 250 player when I did this. And I'm going to see if I can do it again. It's difficult. It requires several different things. You'll see why it's so hard. First off, I should mention, to cover these flight squares, you have to have at least 2 pieces, even if you have a queen. Let's say you have the king here. You need a queen here, and let's say like a knight here to cover these squares. And even then, you would need something to guard this, so let's say like a bishop here, to cover all these flight squares, and for it to be white's move, to make the checkmate successful. Let's say you have queen here and a king here, and you go queen here, king to a1, and then checkmate. That's possible, but it's impossible to force, because when this happens, the king could go here anyway. So even something like this, you would need some guarding here to even get that checkmate. Because of that, this is the least common checkmate, along with obviously bishop on d4 takes f6 checkmate, bishop on e4 takes c6. Now I'm going to try to play this against a 250, and let's see where it goes. Okay. So first things first, I'm going to try to get rid of both of these pawns. I want that is because I want their c pawn to get all the way down to c3, and for it to be blocked. Thankfully, this is also a 250 rated bot, so it's much easier to get a win against. And I need to somehow force the king over here to b2. All of these things can be done, but it's hard to do without stalemating. Along with that, you also have to be, funnily enough, you have to make sure you don't accidentally checkmate them. Let's move our pawn up here, get some access for this bishop, then take these pawns. Not this one, obviously, because bishop guards that. And when we promote this, we can't promote it to a queen, we have to promote it to a dark squared bishop, because that's what you need in order to get it done. If the rook takes here, I don't find that as much of a problem. It does not. And strategy-wise, we've almost got this in the bag. I'm going to take here. If they don't take back, I'll obviously be able to advance this pawn, and we'll have all the bishops we need. Okay, force the king up here. That also works. Move this queen around. Now we have to be very careful of stalemating. We have to be extremely, extremely, extremely careful about stalemating. King can go here. But again, we have to be super careful about stalemating. I almost checkmated on accident. Okay, let's try that again. Let's try it with white again. Let's try to do this a bit quicker. And that's checkmate again. So this is actually super difficult. You have to think every move. You have to do everything correctly. And if you don't, you keep getting checkmate after checkmate too early. But when you kind of get this position, it's super difficult. It's super difficult to get this checkmate. It's something you can do, but if you want to hear more about this, I can make another video about it. That'll be it for today. If you want more people to see this, like the video, please, and I'll see you.